Have you fallen down the cottage industry rabbit hole yet? Well, if not, buckle up, Alice, and click on over to the description in the show notes and sign up. Then you can get ready for the most fun induction into the cult of all things yarn and fiber. This will include, but not limited to, free yarn, free ebooks, patterns, coupons, and much more. You don't want to miss out.
You are listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts, a podcast featuring two crafty besties who love true crime and a good cup of joe.
Hey, amateur sleuths. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Heidi.
We're here.
We're here. Sorry if our faces freeze, but that's just the way it's going today.
We are doing digital malfunctions,
Which is
technical malfunctions, but our audio is good, so that's all that matters.
So who
we don't care if we have funny faces.
If we're stuck like this. Hopefully we froze, but we didn't. Okay.
You did.
Sweet. Book. Oh man. All right. Hold please. Gotta make sure. All right. Nobody is messaging me. All right. Good. Hopefully
good.
Figured
Stay
out
away,
that I'm
people.
busy recording.
Stay away. Stay away.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you're gonna give me a doozy.
I am. But before we get there, we've got an underrepresented missing person.
Yes.
By the name of Julio Cesar Chavez Montoya.
Wow.
Well, you know.
That's a lot of prominent names in one.
A lot of very strong names.
Yes.
Date of last contact was January 29th this year. Missing from Albany, California.
We have an Albany in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Current age would be 63.
Okay.
He is 5'5", 140 pounds, Hispanic. Blah, 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 blah. Chavez Montoya was last seen at 980 Stanage Avenue in Albany, California, after attending church at approximately 12:30 hours. No one has heard from him or seen him since. Chavez Montoya is known to often contact friends and family, but has not since January 29th. He also has not shown up. He hasn't shown up to work, which is outside of his normal pattern of behavior. Something happened.
Yeah, it definitely sounds.
He's got black hair, brown eyes, and that is all we know. I do have pictures, so I will put those on the socials as well. If you know anything at all, Oakland Police Department is who's handling it. Just click the link in the description and you can get to their contact information directly for his case. So.
Okay.
Boo.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you ready for what I have for you?
I'm holding on to my eyelashes currently.
Okay. It's a doozy. But first, we have coffee.
Always coffee first.
From Puerto Rico.
Ooh, yummy, yummy.
I just have to smell it real quick because I'm falling asleep. Oh my god, it's so good. Okay, this is from Cafe Kalau again. Nice. My mom get it for me. She picks me up coffee everywhere she goes. This is the Hacienda Eucalyptus coffee.
Hold it up again.
From Cafe Kalau. It's really pretty.
Oh, it's a cute little drawing on there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you guys should check out Cafe Kalau. It's in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Nice.
We follow them on Instagram. They're amazing.
Yes, yes.
Hello. Oh, my craft. I actually was asked by one of my friends, Adrian, who is a breast cancer navigator. Good gosh.
Good grief.
I'm having trouble talking. She's a breast cancer navigator. She is a nurse. She is a superhero.
Yeah.
She is a wild redhead. I freaking love her. She actually asked me if I could make knitted knockers. And so I started looking at knitted knockers, the .org website, and I actually signed up to become a knitted knockers supplier. So these are for, and it'll be filled. I don't have my fill yet. I ordered it.
Yeah.
They get filled up.
Oh, okay.
So women.
So you make a pocket and then fill it with
exactly
filler.
I make different cup sizes. That's an A cup.
Nice.
But it's, women going through the most horrendous thing in their life and getting mastectomy and not reconstruction. They can use those as inserts for when they feel like they need them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I feel like that's a better alternative. I'm not a medical professional, but I just feel as though, if you have to go through that,
there's
I don't know if I would put something that's foreign
but
in
they
there
don't
to replace
always
it.
use foreign material for reconstruction. If you have to be on the heavier end of things to be able to use your own material, and it's not going to be similar really because it's a different kind of fat, but they can use the fat from like your ass.
I got a lot of thigh and booty.
Right?
Yeah.
Take it from me. But
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need it.
That would be a difficult decision. So
yes,
all of those that are going through that,
it is a difficult decision, and there's a lot of options to weigh out for sure. So anyway, I signed up as a supplier. If anybody wants to join my knitted knockers gang, they have crochet patterns and knitting patterns. So on their website.
Awesome.
But so
I'm still stabbing things. So
yeah, just keep stabbing.
I'm not in the knitting.
You're good.
I'm not in the crocheting world yet.
Yeah. Someday, maybe. We'll see. All right. So
when I don't have to put a uniform on anymore.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When your brain is free
when I have time.
When you're free to learn new things, then we'll get there.
Yes.
All right. So this week I have brought you Samuel Mad Sam DeStefano.
Ooh.
AKA Mad Hatter. But we have a lot of trigger warnings.
I bet.
And firstly, we have rape.
One of the worst.
Yeah. Extreme torture.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yeah. Beatings, murder, stealing, lewd actions. Basically everything you can think of that could potentially be connected to mafia. Because this is a mafia case.
Mafioso.
Yes. And it may, I think I apologized somewhere in here for seemingly jumping around on dates and stuff. There aren't a lot of dates out there. So I was having difficulty like getting everything in the right
timeline.
Yeah.
No worries. You're the storyteller.
So Mad Sam, which is what he became known as, Mad Sam, was born in Streator, Illinois on September 13th, 1909. Should have looked up what sign that is. You want to Google that shit for me?
What was it?
September 13th. I'm guessing it's Virgo.
That's what I was thinking. September 13th?
Yes. Virgo. I'm thinking it's Virgo. Did I nail it?
Sorry,
Nope, she needs her glasses.
Yes, you are correct, Virgo.
Okay. Very particular on these Virgos. Yeah. Very specific. All right. So
hardworking, analytical, organized, reliable. I don't know.
Too organized. His parents were both immigrants from Italy. And as you might have guessed, considering it's a mafia thing.
Yes.
There has been some speculation that maybe his dad had some ties to the mafia, but they are completely unsubstantiated. There are also conflicting stories about his early life with his family, so I intentionally left a lot of that out, even down to the names of his parents.
Okay.
Like, not even kidding. Some of them were like Samuel Sr., and the others, it was like Salvatore. And I'm like, okay, well, all right.
Old country or new country?
Yeah. So Mad Sam moved with his family to Chicago when he was just a teenager. And at the young age of just 18, Mad Sam committed his first known crime when he, trigger warning for rape, he raped a girl, for which he was actually convicted, which shocked the shit out of me because, like, that doesn't even happen nowadays, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And he would actually later go on to lead quite the criminal career. So he joined the ranks of a group of local young men and teens that made up a gang called the 42 Gang.
The 42?
Yeah, the 42 Gang was run by Sam Momo Giancana. That's a fucking name. He went by Momo. He went by Momo.
Okay.
These guys were absolutely vicious. This was during Prohibition, so naturally they were bootleggers. Most of these gang members eventually became made men of the Chicago outfit, aka the Mob.
Right.
Mad Sam DeStefano was different, though. He never did move up the ranks because he was absolutely, completely unhinged, like to the max. He was completely uncontrollable. And he knew it, and he was proud of it. That doesn't make for a good made man. So
no, you have to have a little bit of control in your behaviors. You can't just be wild and out and chaotic.
Yep. So this actually, in turn, ended up being great for some work he would later do for the mob, just like as an outside source. But before we get to that, let's talk about some of his earlier life of crime.
Oh, yes, please.
All right. So sometime during the early 1930s, Mad Sam had made a huge score from a bank robbery. And he was actually really smart with his money that he just jacked from a freaking bank robbery.
Did he invest wisely?
He did, actually. He invested that money in real estate, purchasing a 24-suite apartment building.
Oh, that is smart.
Fuck yeah, it is. And the money from the rentals would go on to line the pockets of local politicians, police, judges, everyone
people
that you could possibly need to pay off to keep out of trouble.
People with authority.
Yeah, and I mean, shit was crazy back then.
Yeah, I mean, it was the 20s. It was
20s, 30s.
20s, 30s.
Through the fucking, I mean, gosh, till the 70s, I think. Probably even into the 80s. Mad Sam was shot at one point during an attempted grocery store burglary way back in 1932. We basically just have like a bunch of weird things about him.
Okay.
It's really weird. He was arrested and then imprisoned in 1933 for robbing a bank in Wisconsin. And this story is actually kind of funny. Mad Sam DeStefano was captured after the gang's getaway car broke down, and all of them fled into the woods nearby. And he was actually grabbed by the police while climbing a tree.
Oh, wow.
So for that, he actually served 11 years in prison. And
really? Wow.
yeah, while doing his time in Wisconsin, he only had 2 pieces of reading material: the Bible and a dictionary.
Okay.
So Mad Sam actually knew the Bible from front to back, and he would have endless arguments with people about the Bible teachings.
But
yeah.
I mean, the Bible is interpreted by the reader. It's
Right.
not like not everybody has the same interpretation. Yes. There could be a million interpretations.
But he was also known to not be a God worshiper.
But he read the Bible and knew it.
He just knew it. Back. Yep. He was even known to quote super long passages from the Bible. Interestingly enough, sources say Mad Sam was actually a devil worshiper. And he was allegedly, all of this is allegedly too, convinced that he was a disciple of Satan, which is fucking scary. Often dropping to his knees to pray, but it's not like what you're thinking, I'm sure. You know, most people drop to their knees and pray, you know, for good things. No, right. No. Oftentimes he would just burst into violent fits of rage, stomping around and swearing. Sources have said he would seemingly lose contact with the world around him. Like he went to another dimension where only him and Satan could go.
Oh, boy.
Obviously, we would now see that this honestly was most likely a mental health crisis.
Probably schizophrenia?
Something, yes. He would get extremely angry to the point where he was on the ground slamming his balled up fists into the ground with frothy drool dripping out of his mouth in puddles on the ground.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nasty.
His voice would even change and get deeper and become more gravelly until you could barely understand him. And once all of that happened, then he would get very clear and begin praying to the devil.
Oh.
Like there was very much something going on there.
Like he was possessed.
I mean,
or entertaining people.
Potentially.
Yeah.
One source said that Mad Sam once sent a gold watch to a politician to throw off any heat that could potentially come his way if he had to take out the politician. Who, by the way, happened to owe him several $100,000. And the watch was engraved with, quote, "To Bob from Sam," to make people think they were friends. Wow. Just in case. Literally just in case. I mean,
yeah. He was premeditated before premeditated.
Exactly. Like just in case. He was super out there.
Yeah.
He eventually began wearing thick black rimmed glasses just to make people think he couldn't see without his glasses.
Oh.
His eyesight was almost perfect without the glasses. So when everyone thought he couldn't see what was going on around him, he was watching them like a fucking hawk. Paranoia.
This sounds very much like the ruse that happened in that movie, Usual Suspects.
I don't remember it.
You don't remember?
Mm-mm.
The guy always pretended to be like disabled or something.
Yeah.
And he ended up being the guy. I think it's the movie I'm thinking. Anyways,
we're going to have to watch it now.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of that aside, we know he's like definitely got some weird little quirks happening.
He's either really insane
or
he's putting really on a really good show.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I think he really is insane, personally. I think he was insane. 3 years after his 1944 release, because remember, he was locked up for 11 years for that one robbery. Yeah. Mad Sam was once again serving time. This time it was for selling counterfeit sugar ration stamps. So, yeah. He was doing his time at Leavenworth.
Of course.
This is where he met and became friendly with Louis Campagna and Paul Rica, who were both high up in the Chicago mob. After he served his time, Mad Sam seemed to be on the straight and narrow for a while.
Like he was putting himself in check.
Yeah, he actually got a normal job as a laborer for the city of Chicago.
Mm.
And in 1949, he lied about his criminal history on an application and passed the civil service test and actually became a garbage dump foreman.
Wow. Maybe that's where becoming a mobster garbage man came from.
I mean,
the idea of it.
Yeah, maybe. His false information wasn't discovered until 1952, but by that time, everybody loved him. And so the city actually refused to even press charges. It's fucking, he's a fucking weird, crazy story. Wow.
Yeah.
So by this point, of course, Mad Sam had major connections in all the right places. He could pay his way out of any predicament. He even had standardized rates for certain things. He even paid off a first-degree murder charge for $20,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The police who were in his pocket would often drive criminals to Mad Sam's house instead of to jail. He would pay the police off, and they would let the criminal go. Not free of charge, though. These criminals would get put on, quote, juice for the fix. Mad Sam claimed that there wasn't a case he couldn't fix. If he promised a fix, he meant it. I'll explain the juice for the fix in a little bit.
Okay.
If a defendant ended up losing the case, Mad Sam would actually pay for the appeals for that case out of his own pocket. So by the end of the by the end of the 1950s, Mad Sam's clientele in his loan sharking business was booming.
Yeah.
Included borrowers from every type of person in Chicago. People who were broke would borrow money just to pay an unexpected bill, or people who couldn't seem to get their heads on straight would borrow money just to have a wild night of partying.
Yeah, and they'd probably be expected to pay back at like 100% interest.
I mean, not quite that much, but a lot.
You're going to pay me with your arm.
Yeah, right. Attorneys would borrow money for who the fuck knows what. Everybody was borrowing from him, is the point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was other criminals trying to fund a big job they were planning. Like, hey, we got this huge score potentially about to happen, but we need money to fund actually making it happen.
And if they didn't get to follow through.
So the small-time borrowers were actually his prime target. They carried a huge interest rate of 20 to 25%. Yeah. Keep in mind, people who borrow from a loan shark can't get a loan elsewhere. They can't just go to the bank and get a loan. That's the whole thing, is that they've already been denied everywhere else.
Right.
This is their only option, which that's fucking scary when you get to that point, probably.
Yeah.
I read in one source that Mad Sam found these small-time borrowers were generally the easiest to find and scare because their own wives would always give them up. See, that's what I was saying. When I said in my next case, you'll know.
Yes.
Should have gone through the girls because they could have arrested both of those fuckers in your last case.
I know, right?
One of Mad Sam's collectors was actually quoted as saying, quote, "I'd like to have $1 for every wife that set her husband up for me. Hell, I wouldn't have to worry anymore."
Wow, they just rolled over pretty easily on their
I could just imagine, hey, your husband owes me a bunch of money. That fucking son of a bitch. He's over at the goddamn, I could just see it. That would be me. I'm not going to fucking cover for him if he did something stupid. Sorry. As you can probably tell, by the 1960s, Mad Sam was a major loan shark. one you really didn't want to fuck with. His reputation was absolutely horrendous. And he could do whatever the fuck he wanted. The local mob, they didn't put any rules on him. He could go wherever he wanted, even if it was their territory, and he could do loans anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, he had free reign. He also had a hand in some drug trafficking, of course, and I personally think that that was probably just like carryover from Prohibition days.
Yeah.
His brother Mario worked with him, and together they introduced what was called the juice loan to Chicago. And the juice loan is just a loan sharking way of using violence to get money from people who owe. So basically, it's just like classic mafia status.
Right.
Like, you borrowed money, I'm going to hurt you if you don't fucking pay me back. So, ooh, you caught.
Sorry.
Oh, didn't catch it. Whoa. Get it.
Stupid country living sometimes, I swear.
Damn. Yeah.
Stupid
Now,
flies. Sorry.
It's okay. Flies are natural.
Well, it's a gnat. It's
fuckers. As I said before, Mad Sam was far too unstable to be a member of the outfit, but they did use him regularly.
Sure. I'm sure they paid him to do some jobs.
He was a great loan collector and was said to be a stone cold executioner.
Sounds like the Iceman.
Yeah. And
a little Kuklinski in him.
Yeah. Mad Sam had a penchant for torture. Yeah. He had a huge collection of torture implements, and his favorite of them all was the ice pick.
Oh.
Interesting. He used the ice pick to stab his victims in, sorry guys, the testicles, their torsos, maybe their neck, but he wouldn't kill them at first in those ways. He did it in a way that would just hurt them.
Yeah.
With the eventual goal of murder.
Of death. Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, God. He used these methods to get money out of people who didn't want to make their payments. Like, sorry, I'm going to stab you in the testicle. Should have fucking paid me. What the fuck?
You can't skip out on a loan shark. They're a loan shark for a reason.
Yes. Shark. Emphasis on the shark.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, Mad Sam was married, and he actually had 3 children.
Oh, surprise.
I know. It is shocking. His family lived in a West Side Chicago suburb, and he was a seemingly normal guy, according to most people outside of the mob. But deep in the pits of his home, he had his torture chamber filled with all of his toys.
Of course he did.
The basement of his home was soundproofed, and nobody was ever allowed to go down there unless they were to be tortured and or killed. Seldom did someone go down there and come out alive, but it did happen. Now, of course, I'm sure you all thought that he must have been a great husband. But you couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I'm sure he was miserable.
One source stated that one time after Mad Sam had an argument with his wife, he went to the extreme and he kidnapped a man off the street, brought him back to his house, and forced his wife and the man to perform oral sex on each other at gunpoint.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucking nuts. Okay. Back to
woman.
Yeah. Like for real. A local restaurant owner named Artie Adler, who couldn't make his juice payment on time, was unfortunate enough to be brought to Mad Sam's basement. Before Sam could kill him, but not without some torture being served up, poor Artie had a heart attack and died.
Oh, I bet that pissed him off.
Yeah. So Mad Sam dumped his body in a sewer Now, the crazy part of this is that it was winter, so the body actually stayed in that spot frozen until springtime. The sewer thawed out the following spring, and it actually got backed up. So someone called the Department of Sanitation, and they discovered Artie's body in perfect condition because it had been frozen.
Right.
Now, apparently one of Mad Sam's brothers also worked for the city. Michael DeStefano was known to have a drug problem. And sources say that Giancana wanted Michael out of the way and put Sam, Michael's own brother, on the job. And in 1955, Sam stabbed his own brother to death with the help of his other brother, Mario.
Oh.
They then washed Michael's body with soap and water to cleanse his brother's soul because he was on drugs. And Mad Sam just couldn't even fucking fathom that thought, even though he was definitely involved in drug trafficking.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah. Before they dumped his body in the trunk of a car. Like, I can't. When he was eventually asked by the authorities about his brother's death, he just sat there giggling like a madman every time they asked him any questions.
Yeah.
There's something very unhinged here.
I think it was all to make him look like he was crazy.
I think so. Mad Sam didn't just work alone in his loan sharking business, because who would? He of course had guys.
No, that'd
who
be
worked
exhausting.
For him.
I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to have some henchmen.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a good word for it. Yes, henchmen.
You're welcome.
So he had guys that worked for him who collect money from people that had borrowed. And one of these guys was Peter Capoletti. One day Peter had done all of his collections, and apparently he thought it was a really good idea to just keep it all for himself.
Oh, no.
So he actually took off with $25,000 in Mad Sam's money. And I don't know about you, but if I worked for a guy whose nickname was Mad Sam, I most certainly wouldn't think stealing from him was a good idea. And despite what you may think, Mad Sam actually didn't kill Peter. But he did hunt him down in Milwaukee and brought him back to Chicago. He met up with his brother Mario and a couple of his other collectors, aka henchmen. That's a good word. Sam Gallo and Charles Cromaldi at Mario's restaurant in Cicero, because Mario had a restaurant.
Oh.
Of course he did.
Of course.
It was delicious. Sam and Charles stripped Peter down and handcuffed him to a working radiator, which, as you probably know, is very fucking hot.
Very.
The four men then beat Peter Capoletti for the next 75 hours.
Oh.
I know. Oh, it's fucking
I don't know how. I mean, even if you had like 6 guys, how are you going to do that for 75 hours?
Right? I mean, they probably they
all had to be. Yeah, but y'all gonna be exhausted. Well, that's crazy.
They were probably on a lot of coke.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, most likely.
I don't think like a drug addict.
Yeah. Mad Sam decided it was a great idea to have a party at this point. So he invited all of these people to the restaurant. And depending on the source, the guest list included either politicians, judges, police, mob guys, and Peter Capoletti's wife, or it was just Peter Capoletti's entire fucking family. I don't know.
He's been beaten and strapped to the radiator.
He's still in the basement.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know which story is true. We don't know if any of this is true. This is all alleged. Where I lost my place. Oh God. Okay, so they all ate dinner together, after which Mad Sam gave a speech about how Peter had stolen from him and how he was himself a great guy with a big heart because he had let Peter live.
Oh,
aren't I a great guy?
Such a nice man.
He's such a nice man, Mr. DeStefano.
Oh, good. Such a sweetheart.
Yeah. During the speech, the other 3 men involved in the beating went to the basement to beat him yet again, and then all 3 of them urinated on him before taking him upstairs.
Oh,
they pushed
lovely.
they pushed Peter into the same room as everyone else. He was naked, covered in blood, burns, and urine. And again, depending on the source, either his wife or his mother or his entire family was forced to pee on him.
Oh, God. Yes. So what they were doing was showing this area that you don't mess with.
Oh, yeah. They made
a
spectacle.
Because
yeah.
This is what's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I could smell that room.
It's so gross. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, okay. In the early 1960s, one of the guys who collected payments for Mad Sam was actually indicted for hijacking. William.
Hijacking what? A plane?
Just hijacking. Probably a truck.
Oh.
I don't know. Just said hijacking. I mean, back then they hijacked a lot of trucks.
Yeah, they did.
Because everything was in trucks. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So this guy's name was William Action Jackson.
Wow.
He went by Action. Unfortunately, he may have been bargaining for a lighter sentence with the FBI, which of course Mad Sam was not happy about.
Yeah, of course not.
Action had been seen at a restaurant in Milwaukee meeting with agents. And this restaurant was owned by a man named Louis Fazio. And unbeknownst to Action, Louis Fazio was actually acquainted with Mad Sam.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've put it together that Louis probably told Mad Sam about this meeting. Nothing is good here.
No.
So
nothing good can come from all of this.
No, this is all terrible. It's horrendous. So Mad Sam somehow lured Action into some sort of trap before him and his buddies tortured him for a few days until he died. Like, they love doing this for 3 days straight.
I don't know what kind of humans can, I don't know. Yeah. And where are these kind of humans now? What are they doing today?
I mean, this was in the 60s, so I would really hope they're all fucking dead or locked up.
No. I mean, like, these types of people.
Oh,
not those specific.
They're still out
but like,
there.
What are we doing?
They're still out there. I mean, as we know, there are still serial killers all the time.
I know. There are 200 active every year.
Oh, God. That is the scariest statistic ever right
crazy.
there. Oh, my
crazy.
God. Okay. So sometime in 1957, so we backtracked a little bit, the FBI was actually ordered to focus their energy on turning organized crime members into informants. So
makes sense.
Which, I mean, we kind of
they would
about that.
I mean, that is
they were trying to infiltrate.
Basic.
Yeah.
Basic investigation of criminal organizations. Right. Gangs, mobs.
Previous encounter of Action meeting with the FBI agents, the FBI has actually denied that even happened. But I mean, that doesn't mean it didn't fucking happen.
Right. What if they can cover their stuff up?
Yep. And it does seem probable that Action was actually turning on him. So the FBI named this plan the Top Hoodlum Program.
Oh, nice.
It's a really good name, guys.
Top Hoodlum Program.
I think we should rethink that one. Hoover came up with that one himself, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of the Chicago-based agents was a man named William F. Romer Jr. He was 6'2".
Which means, that just means there's a second person with that name.
Right? Exactly.
What a weird name.
He was 6'2", a 4-time boxing champ from Notre Dame, and he was a Marine at one point in his life. But now
he went down a really
now he's
shitty
FBI.
path.
Mhm.
Oh, he was FBI.
This is the
I got
FBI guy.
confused. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Romer actually made it his job to try to turn Mad Sam DeStefano into an informant, to which I say, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you're gonna laugh in like 2-3 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
The event that actually made Romer want to turn Mad Sam into an informant went as follows. This is all kind of funny a little bit. Romer went to Mad Sam's home with his partner. They knocked on the door. Mad Sam answered the door wearing pajamas with the fly open, and his fucking wanker was hanging out.
Oh my gosh.
Hanging out. Yeah, I'm already laughing because I know what's coming. Now, apparently, he continued to walk around his house holding onto his penis and staring at it in the mirrors that he had all over the living room.
Wouldn't they be like, sir, put your shit away? Like, why would they just be talking with this man?
House. It's his house. I mean, they can't.
They're still conducting an investigation. I'd be like, get some pants on, man. We're not doing this right now. Cover up your junk.
It was the 60s. Who knows?
Oh. I would not be able to. No.
So, yeah, I put you. I should have put you, David. Anyway, for anybody who doesn't watch Schitt's Creek, what's wrong with you? Go watch it.
It's hysterical.
As Mad Sam is deeply focused on staring at his own penis in the mirror, Romer just blurts out, "You killed Artie Adler." Obviously, this caught Mad Sam's attention off of his penis, thankfully.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hopefully he put it away. He actually immediately yelled for his wife, his kids, and their friends.
Oh my gosh.
To come down to the living room.
Oh, what a piece. What a piece. Piece of work.
He yelled at his family and their friends. Quote, "These two gentlemen are FBI agents. They have come out here to accuse me of killing Arthur Adler. I cry out to God up above. If I am guilty of killing Arthur Adler, may God come down right now and put cancer in the eyeballs of you and you and you." As he pointed his finger in each of their fucking faces.
At his family and the friends.
At his family and friends. What?
Holy moly.
Oh, fuck. This guy. Oh my God. Anyway. So that didn't go as planned.
Right. They're just not going to miraculously have cancer in their eyeballs.
Romer and his partner left and drove back to the office in stunned silence, as most of us I would have been laughing.
If they are alive, they're probably still telling this story.
Oh, for sure. Romer actually ended up making several trips to Mad Sam's house to try to turn him. And each time he went, Mad Sam's wife would cook breakfast and serve coffee. Now, word got out to the local street detectives about these meetings, which then got back to Bill Duffy from the Chicago PD Intelligence Division. And he actually called Romer and asked him if he had been meeting with Mad Sam, to which Romer replied, "Why do you ask?" So Bill Duffy told him, quote, "Because, you dumbass, he's been pissing in your coffee." I'm not even surprised. Like, I'm not. Nothing could surprise me about Mad Sam at this point.
No.
And I'm sure that he got a real kick out of doing that to him.
Did he really not?
Can you not?
I have too many questions.
Oh, so gross, dude. So Romer actually did eventually author several books, just so you know. The first book, Romer, Man Against the Mob, contained information about his time spent with Mad Sam, and I haven't read it, but I am going to add it to my list.
I mean, you just went on record to the world admitting that
a man
you
pissed
would
in your
drink,
coffee.
that you drank piss.
Yeah.
On multiple occasions.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right. All the fun is over now. So I need a drink of water. Hold, please. Oh my gosh. Mad Sam and his crew tortured and murdered another one of his collectors in 1963.
Mm.
And Leo Foreman was not just a collector, he was also a real estate agent. And this all started when Mad Sam actually got a traffic ticket and wanted to do a payoff with the judge. So he went to the court for the trial. You know, you have to go to court for things. Instead of just paying it, paying the small fee that he would have had to pay, he went to the fucking court and threw a fit. And he had a judge who was actually apparently a friend of Foreman's.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't work out the way Mad Sam wanted, and he blamed Foreman. He actually ended up paying a lot more fees than the ticket would have been, even though he was found not guilty of the traffic violation.
Wow.
Because he is a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
He had also caught Foreman mishandling some of his money, which, as you've seen before, is not great. And it was this that actually finalized his decision to kill Foreman. So he visited Foreman's real estate office and he started an argument with him. And Foreman ended up throwing Mad Sam out of his office at gunpoint. This is not going well.
No.
This clearly was not the best idea. And sometime later, not sure if it was the same day or just like later in general, Tony Spilotro and Chucky Grimaldi lured Foreman to Mario DeStefano's house under the guise of Mad Sam wanting to make up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, there's a red flag because Mad Sam doesn't make up with anyone.
Red flag. I'm not going anywhere alone with.
Yeah.
No.
This guy must honestly have been a fucking dumbass because once he stepped into the house, they somehow talked him into going down to the basement. I am sorry, but if you are connected to anyone at all who's even remotely related to mafia, you don't fucking go to the basement.
No.
You're just going to get killed.
Yes.
Haven't you watched anything? I mean, this was like back in the day, so maybe, I don't know.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So Foreman was tied up and the men began beating him to prepare for when Mad Sam would arrive. Mad Sam wasn't even there yet. They were just priming him, basically. So this is about to get bad. Fast forward if you're squeamish. They beat him with a hammer all over his body in all the worst and most sensitive places, such as his crotch, his head, his knees. The knees got me.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Ugh, okay. When Mad Sam arrived, he used his favorite tool, his ice pick, to stab. Great. He stabbed Foreman around 20 times, but he was sure to stab him in certain areas so as not to kill him, only to inflict pain.
Right.
He's like the most sadistic piece of shit.
Yes.
All the while, I'm sure Mad Sam was probably giggling like a lunatic as he did. Right? Can you just see it with like his big old black rim glasses on? So, as Foreman was pleading for his life, Mad Sam began shooting him in the ass repeatedly. And they actually let him suffer for a bit before they tortured him to death with a butcher knife. Yeah. And, oh God, it gets so gross. Mad Sam and his idiot gang took turns actually cutting flesh off of Foreman's arms after he was dead.
Oh, after he was dead.
Okay. Either way, that's just fucking gross.
I mean, it's awful. Yes. Yeah. But I feel like if he was still alive,
I mean,
that would be a lot of screams.
Ooh, so gross. They disposed of Foreman's remains in the trunk of a car, and it was found just a few days later. Evidence techs vacuumed Foreman's clothing, discovering paint and wood chips. And this ends up being like real solid evidence.
Yeah, good.
So Mario DeStefano sold his house 7 years later in 1970. This gave investigators the chance to go inside and see if they could find more evidence connecting to the Foreman murder.
Oh, without having to deal with Mario, because
he sold it. It's fair game
sold
now.
it. Yeah,
They hit the jackpot.
I bet.
They matched the paint and the wood chips, and they also found blood spatter.
I'm sure there was several.
They didn't clean up very well, apparently. 7 years is a long time. You could have done better, guys. But
yeah, they didn't care.
Glad you didn't. They're probably like, oh, they've forgotten about us by now.
Yeah.
The FBI had turned one of the guys from Mad Sam's crew, Chucky Cromaldi, was turned informant in 1972. Mad Sam, Mario, and Tony Spilotro were all indicted for the murder of Leo Foreman because of his evidence. But they were all released on bail. Like, I'll never understand the whole release on bail thing when it's somebody who fucking murdered someone.
Yeah, we give no bail money.
It should be no
we
bail.
Give no bond for murder charges.
Now, real
until
quick,
a bail hearing, of course.
Yeah. Anytime Mad Sam would get called into court to testify about anything throughout his history, he would do his like weird antics to the max.
Yeah, I bet.
And what you were saying earlier, you're gonna kind of giggle a little bit. He would demand use of a bullhorn in a fucking courtroom.
No, sir.
He would show up in his pajamas, hopefully with the fly shut.
I hope so.
Nobody needs to see that.
No.
He would represent himself, which is never a good idea, guys. He sometimes would arrive on a stretcher or in a wheelchair. He even had conspiracy theories about how the agents were colluding with Stalin.
Oh,
what the fuck? Really? Like, are you okay, sir?
You are so important that the government is having this conspiracy against you. I don't think so, sir.
Paranoid much? Now, during pre-trial, Mad Sam did get up to his usual antics. He was representing himself, making a fool of himself. And he was actually starting to gain a ton of media attention, which is not good.
No.
For anyone. And at this point, he had already kind of fallen out of favor with the local mob. So,
yeah, he was a liability at that point.
Big time. Nobody was going to get out with a payoff at this point. So Spilotro and Mario actually came up with a plan to shut Mad Sam up forever.
Oh, really?
Yep. The two men went to Mad Sam and fed him a bullshit story about how they had located the safe house that Chucky Cromaldi was being kept in. Obviously, Mad Sam is going to be super stoked on this information because, hello.
Yeah.
They also told him that the guards who were keeping him safe had been paid off to turn their backs that coming Saturday, and that they could all go together to whack him.
Wow.
It was a date.
A killing date.
A killing date. So that Saturday, Mad Sam was out in his garage sweeping the garage out, I guess. Got to keep it nice for your car. When Mario and Spilotro arrived. And Spilotro was walking behind Mario as they walked up to Mad Sam. And Mario then stepped to the side and Spilotro brandished a double-barreled shotgun. He then fired both barrels one after the other. The first shot actually basically shot Mad Sam's arm, like completely off, basically. The second hit him in the chest, and according to sources, he was dead before he even hit the floor.
Wow.
Now, keep in mind, this is all alleged. None of this is proven. Just gonna throw
Right.
that out there. The date was April 14th, 1973. Their actual trial wasn't even until the end of April, or into May, depending on what source you look at.
Yeah.
And their plan ended up working. Tony the Ant Spilotro learned everything he knows from Mad Sam, which is really fucking scary.
Yeah.
And he actually got acquitted in that murder of Foreman.
Wow.
And nobody was ever arrested for the murder of Mad Sam.
No, probably because they're like, oh, good riddance.
Yep. And all of the story you just heard is alleged and cannot be proven. Don't at me. Don't come at me, mob. I don't want to fuck with you.
We're just telling stories.
But these stories, man, holy shit.
Yeah, that was wow.
But I want to end this with an excerpt from William Brashler's The Dawn. The life and death of Sam Giancana. Okay, I'm not going to read it like that. Don't worry. Wish my brother was here to read this. That would be hysterical.
That would be funny.
Okay, quote, "The mob was full of psychopaths and morons, and keeping order among them was a challenge to the mettle of any boss, be he an elderly don like Paul Rica or a power broker like Giancana. Nobody tested the patience and discipline of both men more than Sam DeStefano, a freelance juice loan operator and terrorist who was the preeminent clown prince of the Chicago outfit, a buffoon with no equal. DeStefano, through the years, had somehow gained the favor of Rica and Giancana, a standing that kept him alive, for nobody made more enemies or talked louder than DeStefano, the Mad Hatter."
That was a wild ride.
That is my case. Woo, Lord. Yeah.
So many questions.
Right? And I have zero answers.
Yeah. I mean,
you can ask questions, but I'd probably.
Yeah.
And
that was a good one.
You got to see pictures of this guy. Oh,
I can't wait.
Like,
I look forward to that.
He looked like he was fucking insane.
Yeah.
His hair was wild. Like, he was just a wild man.
Well, it was a wild ride.
Fuck yeah. All right. Jeez. We did good. That was
it. Is that all you got?
All I got, dude.
Wow.
Sources are in the description if you want to find them. Also, there's a link to knittedknockers.org if you want to sign up.
Nice.
Or if you want to join my knitting crochet gang.
There you go.
Just email us at crimecoffeeandcrafts@gmail.com. Join us on Patreon. Do all the things. Check out our merch.
Do all the things. Buy us some coffee.
Dude, check out the new hats. There are these like awesome. These, but not with the heart. Our hats say "Tata" for now, and "Don't be a shitbag." And words are hard.
Words are hard. Words are hard.
We got this. All right. Until next time. Ta-ta.
For now.
Thanks for listening to Crime, Coffee, and Crafts. If you love our podcast, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. This helps us more than you know. If you really love us and want to support us, go to our website at www.crimecoffeeandcrafts.com. From there, you can join our Patreon, shop our merch, and find us on social media.